Hey, Hope Waukee, Pastor John here with this week's e-News. Hey, a lot of you have spent time right in this spot on the sidelines of football fields or soccer fields or at cross-country meets this fall. I know for a lot of parents and grandparents or friends or family, the fall can be a really busy time of youth sports. And if you're anything like me, you've spent a lot of time in a chair like this. I have been in this chair a lot over the last several weeks and weekends, taking in our kids' games. They're both involved in soccer this fall, especially this last weekend. My daughter had a soccer tournament, and man, we were bouncing from field to field, and then my wife took her that way, and I took our son to his game. We were moving all over the place, and let me just say this, by the end of the weekend, we were tired. We were exhausted, and it was all good. It just maybe is not the best. We have to stop and ask ourselves sometimes, am I missing the most important things in life because I'm so busy with a lot of other good things? And we feel that tension, just like you do, of trying to make it all work and get the kids from here to there and still make weekly worship a priority. It reminds me of the story of Mary and Martha in Scripture, and I think a lot of us hear that story and we just say, well, be a Mary, don't be a Martha. The reality is, this is our lives. We're bringing our kids from one activity to another, and we feel like, well, I do feel like a Martha. The reality is, in that story, Jesus never condemns Martha for all the good things that she's doing, getting the house ready and making the food. He just says, in the midst of all the good things that you're doing, Martha, don't miss the best thing. And that's what Mary had chosen in that moment, was to sit at the feet of Jesus. I think on a regular basis, I know I'm challenged too with my own family to ask yourself, with your kids, your grandkids, your family, how are we doing in our soul? How are we doing in our heart? We're doing all these important things and we're running around and accomplishing all these activities, but what's happening on the inside? And so that's my just encouragement to you today as your pastor, as somebody that loves you, cares about you and your family. How's everybody doing? I just want to encourage you to make weekly worship a priority. This seat is very important, but so are the seats that we have in our worship center, the seats that you have at one of our classes or groups. God created us to worship. It's spiritual exercise for our souls. We were created to be together, and as we talked about this last weekend, it is impossible to feel a sense of gratitude in worship and anxiety at the same time. God created us to know that there's something bigger going on than just what consumes our day-to-day schedule. I want to encourage you to show up for weekly worship, also because we don't want you to miss all the amazing things that are happening here around Hope Waukee. We announced this last weekend that we're going to be entering into a giving campaign in the month of November, and what's exciting about that is that it's going to prepare us and set us up for future expansion and growth here of our building and our ministries. I'm so excited for the month of November. Leading into that, I hope you've got the date saved. Sunday, October 27th, we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary as a church. There's going to be a lot of special things happening that day. You do not want to miss it. Trunk or treat is coming up. Bring the kids, bring the whole family as well. We've got a baptism class coming up. If God's moving in your life, either you as an adult or for you with your child, we'd love to share with you God's heart in baptism as well. Of course, we're really excited for this Saturday. It's our all-church fall cleanup day. The weather, I think, is going to be really nice, but regardless, we're going to have projects inside and outside for the entire family. This is a great opportunity to get to know some other people in the church. Come for a little bit, come for all of it. Projects for all ages, and we'll end with lunch at noon. It's going to be another great weekend as we kick off a brand new sermon series. We're going to be looking at faith on film and how God speaks to us through the stories that are relevant to our lives in some films that have come out recently. I would love to see you and your family probably on the sideline in one of these chairs one of these days, but also here for worship this weekend. Can't wait to see you. We'll see you Sunday.